Horror takes many forms on YouTube, but story narration is a major part of this niche's community. Writers, voice actors, artists, and musicians collaborate to bring chilling stories right to you. But for months now, I can't go online without seeing that another narration channel has been demonetized. Creators great and small have been struggling to make sense of this situation and avoid penalties, but there's still a lot of confusion about the current policies and how they apply to this niche. So I've reached out to the narration community to see what's going on. I'm going to look at a couple of different issues they're facing, and then we'll see what everyone can do about it. When narration channels get demonetized, it's typically attributed to the use of inauthentic content. YouTube's monetization policies have a section that defines what that is. It lists a few examples of what cannot be monetized, and at the top of that list is this bullet point: content that exclusively features readings of other materials you did not originally create, like text from websites or news feeds. Now, I know that might sound like it rules out narration as we know it, but I don't think it's that simple, because good narration channels aren't just reading stories. Those that do it right are doing much more. I do think that it's up to the narrator to do something transformative when they take that work and bring it over to YouTube, but the best narration channels are doing that. They're putting in their own talent and labor through voice acting, sound design, and visuals. Creators are getting creative to illustrate and entertain. Channels like The Keeper have an on-screen persona for at least a portion of the video, in costume and in character. Look at Dexter's approach. I put in the effort to add music, sound design, and voice act because I want to create an experience that helps the listener engage in the story in a way that's more like a movie than an audiobook. There's a ton of collaboration in this community, and a lot of videos will have a whole cast of voice actors to bring a story to life. They're doing something transformative, taking a written story and adapting it into a show fitting for an audio-visual platform. It's more than just a reading, it's a performance. But is anybody at YouTube seeing that for themselves before these channels are getting demonetized? Well, it doesn't always look like it, and that brings me to the second part of this problem. If you've spent any amount of time on this platform, you've no doubt encountered AI-generated content. It could be a shellacked thumbnail, eyesore visuals, soulless voiceover, or a bland script, or all of the above. And these no-effort videos are crowding the feed and making it harder for genuine creators to reach their audience. The Keeper recalls, "I noticed it even before the demonetization began. Large channels began to get less views, many new channels from authentic creators were short-lived, and many fans became frustrated with the slop and turned away from the genre entirely. It has absolutely taken the wind out of the sails of the genre. AI sucks, and when you try to inject it into a creative space, it just makes things worse for everybody." Last November, Kapwing released a study that showed 21% of the shorts shown to new users was AI-generated slop. Now, shorts are different than long form, which is where narration channels typically upload, but I hope that number illustrates how far garbage content is encroaching into these creative spaces. Melissa of the Haunted Tales Anthology podcast sees it this way: "It's crazy how flooded everything is. With these slop channels and their insane output, you really gotta make sure your stuff doesn't get lost in between, and that can be really annoying." Now, in July 2025, YouTube changed its monetization policies, like I mentioned earlier, in an effort to weed out low-quality AI slop. But at the start of this year, YouTube CEO Neil Moen announced that the platform would increase its use of AI moderation, and now creators fear that an over-reliance on AI screening and a lack of real human discretion is leading to legitimate channels losing their monetization, overlooking the human effort and throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Money is not why these creators do what they do, but taking money off the table is hard to ignore. Whispering Scream says, "I think it's generally discouraging for everyone. Making these videos costs money, and I think most people would like to get a little back at some point. If the carrot is taken away completely, then I can see how that's going to lead to thoughts of what's the point?" To turn to this platform to engage with horror as an outlet for your voice acting, just to be told such videos aren't authentic content, is disheartening. 10-year YouTuber Poltergeist says, "This is the most passionate I've been about a project on the platform, and for it to feel like YouTube discredits that is a bit of a blow. I definitely see it in the community as a whole." This isn't to say narrators will stop doing what they love doing just because monetization is uncertain for now, but they might not be putting all their eggs in this YouTube basket. I've already seen some creators say that they're moving to other platforms, either to diversify or to leave their channel behind, but hopefully it doesn't have to come to that for everyone. If narration is going to survive on this platform, it might have to transform. As we know, policies can change, but if narration channels have to play by today's rules, it might require some extra steps. And I know that wrangling actors, recording voices, coordinating with artists, and editing video, that's already a lot of effort. But if YouTube still considers that to be just a reading, then more production may be necessary. Offering commentary on a story is a great way to provide critique or context within your video. Take Watcher's Are You Scared series, or the Creepcast channel for example. The hosts break up the reading with their own thoughts and interpretations. Or take a note from classic horror hosts like Elvira or Svengoolie. They act as masters of ceremonies around the feature presentation. When you watch these hosts, you're not just watching the movie. Their personalities are an integral part of that experience. Now, I know that's not what all narrators started their channels to do, and it might break up the flow of something you already had a vision for. So for the best of both worlds, you might want to release just the voice work on audio platforms and then the expanded effort on YouTube. Beyond that, Dusklight Radio has an insightful video on the situation, and it recommends diversifying your content. If narration is the focus of your channel, you may have to branch out into commentary, reviews, or video essays. Is that what your audience came to you for? Well, even if it's not, YouTube is forcing creators' hands here. And if you're concerned about your channel, there are some other practical points that you can try today. Vary your thumbnails, intros, and visuals. Don't link to Reddit users that have not safe for work content on their profile. It's been standard courtesy to link back to the original story, but be careful about linking anywhere that might violate YouTube's community guidelines. And don't use AI for any part of the process. Your own creativity is your advantage here. And if you've already been demonetized and you want answers, you already know how hard it is to get anywhere. For all the narrators that I've heard from, it seems like it's been a challenge to get any straight answers, even from YouTube itself. And so some creators have turned to social media to make their concerns public. The Keeper told me there are posts on X or Twitter that people can like and retweet which have Team YouTube tagged. We need to send a clear message to YouTube that friendly fire on authentic creators is not acceptable and we will not tolerate slop. And even if you're just a horror fan and not a narrator, there are ways you can help. Dr. Torment says, "In my opinion, the best thing a viewer can do is voice these concerns openly to YouTube on any platform they can. Other than that, if you want to support your favorite creator, find out if they have a Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, or something similar set up. Even if a channel is monetized, YouTube is sure to take its share, and these creators may need alternative platforms to make their efforts pay off." Look, YouTube is not the place to make a quick buck. A channel that just churns out AI slop or phones in readings with no passion for storytelling isn't gonna pass muster. But the people who are doing something transformative with fiction because they love it, they deserve a fair shot at monetization. In hearing back from all the creators that spoke to me, I think it's clear that they're all passionate about what they do. I'm grateful for the narrators who seek out great stories, get the author's permission to use them, and breathe their own life into the characters. And I'll keep listening for as long as they're around. And if you love horror, support the people who make it. Check out the narrators who shared their perspectives today, and listen to their stories. Links will be in the description. There's no substitute for real art made by real people, so let's be grateful for what we have. I really appreciate the people who put in the effort to express their own creativity, so I'll be doing more videos on the creative process in the future, and a lot more horror in between, so I hope you'll stick around. Bye for now.